But it looked really cool.
I'm so sorry.
Ah,
I thought I had it. I didn't have it.
no worries. Hi, everyone, Perception Painters. Happy Monday. How's everyone doing today? My name is Robert. As many of you know, I'm a painter and artist and graphic designer and all those fun artsy, creative things. And today, I'm going to guide you step by step through this really fun Star Trek inspired Enterprise painting that you see up there on the top right. Um, so, before we get started, let's take a look through materials and make sure we have what we need. So first off, I've got my canvas here. Let me straighten that out a bit since I knocked it out of the way. There we go. So I have a 16 by 20 inch canvas. You can use any size canvas you have, any shape canvas you have, really. And if you don't have canvas available, you can use paper or cardboard or anything just as a painting surface. You can also paint this digitally. So if you have an iPad or a Surface Pro, you can use those too. The same steps apply, except don't use the paint on your iPad surface. That would not be good. So we've got our paint surface. Next up, you'll want a cup of water. Ta-da! It's this guy here. So you're going to use the cup of water to make sure that your brushes are nice and clean in between colors. So make sure you have this handy. And then also, you'll want something to drink. I've always got a cup of water, but I keep a lid on it just in case because I don't want to put my brushes in there on accident. So just keep that nearby. And then next, you will want a towel. Here's my towel. Just a microfiber reusable towel that I wash when I'm done. If you don't have a towel or a rag handy, you can use a paper towel or a napkin. And you'll want this to make sure that your brushes don't have too much water on them before you apply the paint to the canvas. Because if you do, especially with acrylic paint, you've got too much water on your brush and you put that on the canvas, the water will drip down the canvas and rip that paint right off of there. So I want you guys to get in the habit of washing your brushes out thoroughly with water. And then before you get your next color, dab it dry with the towel and then get the color as you normally would. And speaking of brushes, let's take a look. So for today's painting, it's one of my favorite, like a splattery galaxy painting. So what I'm going to do is I'll show you what brushes I'm using today. If you don't have the exact same brushes, that's okay. As long as you have something similar, you can just go with what you got, right? Look at my hair. Swoop. My hair is getting too long, clearly. All right. So I've got my large brush, which is a 1-inch flat brush. Nice thin edge there, flat top. I have a 1/2-inch flat brush. Same kind of brush, just a little bit smaller. And then I've got my detailed brush. This is a number 2 round brush. And then today, to help with some of the stars and the texturing that you see up there, I've also got this kind of round bristly brush. It's going to add some really cool textures when I'm tapping and stippling or when I'm flicking paint to create some of those star fields. So we got all that there. Actually, give me just 1 second. I want to make sure that I have the chat live for you guys. But it doesn't look like it is, so let me just double check. I think I need to refresh it on my end. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna pop this out real quick. Boop. There it is. Hi. It's funny, I was looking at the chat and thought, why is it so quiet? All right, let's take a look. There we go. Tiger on something calming to watch tonight. This is good. Good. Yeah. Let it be calming. Think of me as your Rob Ross. Hi, Trixie. You want to come say hi? Oh, this is my little pup, Trix. Say hi, my little painter's assistant. Hello. Good girl. Thank you. Okay, you go relax. So yeah, let's take a look at the chat and see. And Michaela wanted to join, but I am sleep. Are you sleepy today? Are you sleepy, tired? Reed looks at the painting and what? Has anyone from Harry Potter been on Star Trek? Yeah. I don't know. I actually, you know what? I just started watching Star Trek The Next Generation. It's the first Star Trek that I've ever watched over the course of this last year, and I love it. So I'm making my way. I'm almost done with it. And then I'm going to go and venture off into the other series and see what they're all about too. But if you have recommendations of where I need to start next after Next Generation, let me know. And Reed Cooper says we're talking Harry Potter this week. Oh, right, because last week was the Harry Potter painting, and we have to skip it. I know, we're always talking about the thing that we're not painting, right? I love it. All right, so we got our brushes. Next up, we'll want paint. We'll go through them using a few colors, but use what you have available. As long as you have red, yellow, blue, black, and white, it's the primary colors, and then anything to tint or shade, you'll be good to go. But I'll show you what I'm using today. So I've got a titanium white and a Mars black. And then I'm also using this deep yellow. It's a little bit more red, kind of an orange marigold color rather than a brilliant yellow. I'm also using a brilliant red. So this is a little bit more brighter, I think more like poppy rather than fire truck red. And then I'm using a brilliant blue. There's lots of brilliance today. Brilliant blue, just nice standard blue. And then some violet. Now if you don't have violet, you can just mix up some red and blue and you'll get that nice purpley tone too. And that's it for our colors, really, not too much. Not much at all. So that's the paints. I think that's all for materials. Let's see, as we're going through today, if anyone has any questions, don't hesitate to let me know. You can always drop them in the chat. You can also join us at Perception Paints on our Discord channel. It's where you can drop in some images of any artwork that you've been working on and share it with all of us. And then you can also find our Perception Paints share. You can hook up the camera and show us virtually what you're working on right now. And that's a great way to show me as you're going through, if you want me to take a look at anything, if you have any questions or if you're looking for comments or help, you can ask me there too. But the important thing to remember is that today we're just having fun. We're talking about Harry Potter as we paint Star Trek paintings, and just a time to relax and chill out and just enjoy it. And as Bob Ross always says, there's no mistakes, only happy accidents. So if you're going through and you're thinking that something's not looking right, don't panic, just give it a minute and maybe just paint over it once it's had a chance to dry, and you can make some revisions as we go. Okay, so let's get started. But before we do, let's do a quick little toast. I got my drink here. All right, so we'll drink and we'll paint the best that we can. Ah, there's Art. Hi, just in time for our toast. Yeah. Oh, I like your shirt. What is that? Are those little sharks?
Sharks, octopuses, octopi, I don't know, and scuba divers.
That's so cute. I love that. All right, well, we'll do our toast. All right, we'll drink and we'll paint the best that we can. And if it don't turn out right, who gives a damn? Cheers. Boop.
Cheers in the drink.
Ta-da. Art, how are you doing? Everything's good?
Yeah, just been busy.
Mm-hmm.
I have a bunch of puppets that I got to build for a project that we're working on.
Nice.
And then, so that's been, my brain has been on that. So, yeah.
Are they perception puppets?
They're not for a stream. They're for a, we asked. Well, I'm allowed to talk about it. We're trying to pitch a show for a network. We have a friend who's a filmmaker, and we're putting together a show, building about five puppets for a monster-themed show.
That's so cool.
They're gonna be like versions of the classic Universal monsters. So we have a vampire, we have a creature from Black Lagoon, we have a mummy.
Oh, I love that so much. I'm so excited. Reed was asking if you've made Muppets. Have you made actual Muppets? I know you've worked with them, but I don't know if you've actually constructed them.
No, I'm like official Muppets. No, I've never made any of them.
Okay. Wait, the answer is no. And no, not new Muppets. These are new designs, not Muppet related whatsoever. But still, I'm sure they're going to be so amazing. I'm excited. Oh, by the way, we are talking about Harry Potter today.
I saw. We can do that.
Yeah. You know. What'd you make for dinner?
Oh, my mom
you
made
get more
this.
beans.
It's more beans because Mexico. And then
because you always have beans.
And this is kind of like it's kind of like a quiche, kind of.
Yum.
But it's like a little flat. It's almost like a potato latke, but it's like a
You know
quiche.
what's so funny? You and I practically had the same thing for dinner today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so I made dinner tonight. I made a homemade okonomiyaki, like the Japanese savory pancakes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so same kind of thing. And then instead of beans, I did edamame with rice. So
There you go.
yeah, we had the same thing today. We didn't even know. All right, gang, so we're going to get started. We're going to do our backgrounds first. And I'm going to take my large brush. Actually, instead of my large brush, I'm going to use my bristle brush. Again, if you don't have a bristle brush, that's okay. You can use a large brush the same way. Let me take this off. I realized I hadn't opened this one yet. Okay. So I'm going to start with my lighter colors first, which is this nice yellowy tone. And I'm going to put that right on my bristled brush. And we're going to create this kind of diagonal star field as the Enterprise is floating through. It's going to start up here in this top corner, and it's going to fly diagonally, but it's going to come just short of this diagonal here. Again, you can make this any way you want to. It doesn't have to follow just like mine, but essentially, it's a line like that. That's what we're looking at. So I'm going to tap this on there. Just get a whole bunch of color up on that. And this is going to be about 3 to 4 inches wide. If you're looking at about there. So just tap on that paint. I like to use this kind of textured bristly brush when I can, just because it makes it look just kind of fun and organic. It's not so deliberate. Just keeps it interesting.
Wait, Reedish Cooper said, is that a Starbucks? No, it's a Starbucks. Is that what you meant? How did you get that? Starbucks tumbler? They sell them at Starbucks.
No, I think he was talking about your shirt. Your amazing shark, octopi, scuba diver shirt. Where did you get that?
Old Navy.
Nice.
I shop at Old Navy a lot. It's weird.
I used to. I had a lot of their clothes. And then at some point, I switched to, like when I started working at Taco Bell, I had to get some like shirts. Because they didn't have those cool like conversational prints. I wish they did when I was shopping there. Now I have to go and get some.
Yeah, they occasionally have really cool prints. There was one that was like this, but there were astronauts. And it came and went. People just took them and they were gone. And I wasn't able to get one. I looked for them everywhere. I was bummed that I missed that.
I've been getting my shirts from Bonobos. They do a lot of shirts like that too.
Bonobos?
Yeah.
Like the chimpanzees?
Like the what?
The chimpanzees? Bonobo
I didn't know. Yeah, maybe it's the same thing.
You should look up videos of bonobos. It's great. Because all they do is have sex all day. Constantly. constantly.
Jeez, okay.
It's
I had
really
no
weird.
idea.
It's really fun.
Yeah, well, that's the name of the company, and they do men's clothing, so that's probably why they called it that. But yeah, they specialize in those really cool prints, and their stuff is only seasonal. So if you like a print, you have to buy it immediately because they sell out immediately. But they got to be expensive.
Yeah.
Spending way too much on shirts, and it's like, nah, no more.
I think I just ended up buying. I go to Old Navy for their pants because I really like their pants. They're they have these like slacks. They're kind of like chinos, but they're not chinos though. I forget what they're called, but they look like you can dress them up, or you can wear them like with a t-shirt, or you can put a nice shirt on.
Yeah,
and they're super comfy. It's like wearing sweatpants. So I usually go buy something there because for sitting at a computer they're much more comfortable. And then I just end up buying shirts. Yeah.
I think I might need to go. That sounds awesome. I need some new work clothes. I wear my pajamas in front of my computer all day. It's not a good idea. Jason says, I just learned that someone accurately recreated the original series set.
The original series of what? Oh, Star Trek.
Star Trek?
There's a guy who has he rebuilt the whole set, recreated the set.
Like in his house?
Something like that, in his house or somewhere.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I've been seeing a lot more of that kind of stuff, like as people are stranded in their homes.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? What else are you gonna do? I'm gonna have to check that out. So now I'm using my same brush, but I put on a little tap of red because I'm going to, along this outside edge of the yellow, tap in just a tiny touch of red throughout. You can see I'm keeping it really light. And I'm gonna let that blend in with the yellow along that edge to create kind of a glowy orange tone. And again, you can do this with a regular brush too, as long as you keep your brush pretty dry and use just a little amount of paint. You're good to go. We're going to do this on both sides. So I was asking everyone, I let them know that I actually just started watching Star Trek for the first time over this last year.
Oh, cool.
With Next Generation, and love it. And I was asking everyone of their suggestions moving forward, because Netflix has essentially most of it on there, except for any of the new stuff on CBS or Paramount.
Yeah.
Should I go back and watch the original series now?
It depends. Series is great, but it's also a really old show.
Right.
It's not long either, because it's not a lot of seasons, so it'd be easy to get through. But I've not watched all of the original series. I'm far more of a Next Generation Star Trek person. But definitely, Deep Space Nine is a little bit of a commitment because it's a little heavier.
Okay, like in its tones and story, or
yeah, tone and story. It's a little drier. It can be fun, but like it's a little more dry. It's a little more like a melodrama in a space station, and it's good. It's a different feel.
Yeah.
And Voyager is like the opposite. Voyager is like the pew pew fun, weird stuff happens.
That's so funny how they're so different yet based in the same.
And they're all good. They're all fun to watch, but they're a little bit different, even though they're the same.
And you said that was Voyager. Voyager was pew pew. Deep Space Nine was a little more melodrama.
It's a little more melodrama, and it's good. Yeah. Rita Cooper says DS9 is love, though. Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of Deep Space Nine. I said DS9. I didn't mean to do that, but I guess that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, DS9 is. That's so funny.
So what about Star Trek Next Generation? You watch normal. Voyager you could watch on the background while you're working on something, but Deep Space Nine you have to sit and watch and pay attention.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's kind of like their level.
Yeah. What about the new stuff? I caught a bit of what you and Will were talking about during Cinephilia a couple weeks ago. Was it last week or the week before?
Last week. I really like Deep Discovery, but I didn't love it at first. I didn't hate it. I just didn't love it. But this third season I really got to like. But definitely watch everything else before, so you because Discovery is different.
Okay.
And Picard, I wanted to like Picard, but Picard's not that great. Definitely don't watch Picard after Next Generation, because that's the only way it's gonna make sense.
Okay, yeah, I figured as much. I know, I've been hearing some stuff about Picard, and a little too bad, because after watching Next Generation and loving him and his character...
I mean, maybe next season it'll get better. You know, definitely Discovery took a while to... It took 3 seasons to get to a place where I'm like, okay, I like this a lot.
Okay. You said 3 seasons?
Yeah, season 3 was the season that I finally was like, I love this show.
Jeez, okay. Usually by the end of season 1, I'm like, out.
Reed H. Cooper says the Scott Bakula show was Enterprise. Star Trek Enterprise goes back to like the beginning of like when they first started doing warp drive, like beginnings of Starfleet, like way in the past. It's closer to our time. And
okay.
I've never seen it. It didn't do very well when it first came out. Some people now kind of like it better as time has gone by, but it is different.
I see it on my I save them all on my Netflix queue for like when I'm ready to start. But then I see that one and I see Scott Bakula and I think, really?
if you want to see Scott Bakula, just watch Quantum Leap and then you're...
Yeah, that's what I think of it. Jason said, I'm talking about the guy who did it in the mid to late 90s and turned the place into a museum with tours. He eventually did fan films, and some of the original actors and writers eventually got involved. That's cool.
That's cool.
I had no idea. Jason says, Babylon 5 is still my all-time favorite sci-fi show. Okay, that's a pretty glowing recommendation.
I know what it is.
Stargate, the TV show.
I
liked Stargate the movie, but I've never seen the TV show. I like the movie.
I really like Battlestar Galactica, the new version.
I've been thinking about starting that one.
It's really good.
I see it. And Dwight is always talking about it, so like I feel like I have to watch it. Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. It's so funny. All Until Universe. Oh, there's multiple Stargate TV series too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then Reed Cooper says, my favorite sci-fi show is actually Red Dwarf. I've never heard of that.
Again, I've heard of it, never seen it.
And Jason is obsessed with cyborgs, androids, and synthezoids, so probably got extra out of Picard and did notice its weaknesses. Okay, so now I just have a lot to watch.
And Star Trek Picard might be bad if you're like... If normal people might not find it bad. I think it's definitely bad to people who are like Star Trek fans.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because it wasn't a bad show per se. It just disappointed the nerdy Star Trek people in us.
Nerds like us. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip ahead on the sides. I'm going to leave this for a little bit. I'm taking my blue paint and I'm actually going to use my large brush just to fill in a little bit quicker rather than my stipple brush. So it says, instead of letting the episodes come out late, now Ryan has behind the legacy early.
Early, yeah.
And Jason says, to me, Babylon 5 is like Lord of the Rings of TV shows. So good in like its epic storytelling, but also extremely long and you have to pay extra attention.
Maybe a little deep, yeah.
Yeah. I still have yet to see the Lord of the Rings movies. I've only seen the first 2.
Oh, wow.
and I enjoyed them, but they're really long. And it's not that I have a short attention span, because I don't. I can sit and watch something forever if it's got my interest in it. But I think it has to be the perfect time to watch it. Like, it can't be anywhere near bedtime, and I can't have just eaten, because that makes me sleepy too. It has to be like the perfect time to watch it. And I'm just talking like the regular films. I haven't even tried the extended 12-hour versions of each film.
Oh, it's almost not we're watching the regular ones anymore. You just watch the extended versions.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I ever watched the non-extended versions.
Wow. Okay.
Mind you, it's not like I'm sitting down to watch them. If I'm watching them, I usually like I play in the background, or I'll half watch them because I've seen them all. So I need to sit and pay attention.
I mean, that's my thing, because I've never seen them, so I don't want to like have them on the background and not really paying attention to it. But I do that with some movies too. Like, I'll do that with my favorites, or if I've got Bob's Burgers on in the background or something.
By the way, today I'm committing to destructive digital painting.
Destructive? You mean just one layer?
One layer.
Wow. Okay.
Well, at least for this part. We'll see later on. But
yeah. I like it. I challenge myself to do that sometimes too.
Yeah.
It's a good practice. Firefly. You know, I watched a little bit of Firefly, but something happened where I just wasn't able to keep going, and so it kind of dropped off. But I do want to finish watching that.
That's really good.
That's a short watch too. So it's like 1 or 2 seasons, right?
Like 2 seasons, yeah, and then a movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus, I love what's his name? The main guy. I love him so much I can't remember his name. Yeah. He's so great. I love him in Santa Clarita Diet. He was so funny in that. Okay, so I've got my blue on there. Next, I'm going to add some purple into that. And I'm going to go back into my stipple brush. I'm just working on this side one at a time while it's still a little wet. What else we got there? Reed says, speaking of Patreon, a Perception Paints pin would be pretty sweet. That would be kind of cool, huh?
Mm-hmm.
With that fun little Perception Paints drippy logo. I like that.
Yeah, I think eventually we do want to do the logos. We wanted to get characters and stuff out first. Possibly thinking that, a random idea we had. We haven't explored quite, but we did explore the idea of maybe releasing a pin set with the show names. Like having a perception check, a cinephilia, and having like a set of 6 or something like that.
I like that.
Might be kind of fun.
Yeah. Jason says the main story arc of Babylon 5 is epic and well constructed. Individual episodes have their own entwined dual episodic story of their own, though. Oh, that sounds deep. I mean, I want it. I want to watch it. All right, so I'm taking my my texture brush with a little tap of purple on it, and I'm going to blend in between the red and the blue area here. And Reed is saying, hey, Robert, this is obviously not the method you used for the original painting, so can you talk about how you did that one? I mean, if you're even able to. Oh, that original painting up there? That's not my original painting. No, we're just finding sources of cool shit that we want to paint, and then I recreate it with you guys and show how we can break it down. Sometimes I create my own stuff. It just depends on what the mood I'm in. But if I see something really cool online that I think you guys would enjoy, I'll take a screenshot of it and then figure out how to break it down to create our own version of it. But I assume that they used a similar technique. If anything different, they may have started with a black canvas and then added the color on top of it with some texture on there. But since most of us don't have black canvas available to us, and if we were to paint a canvas black and then try to paint on top of it, sometimes that takes a really long time to dry. So we're kind of working in the reverse of that, starting with the lighter colors first, and then building the darker colors on top of it. Each season of Babylon 5 encompasses a theme, okay, and section of the main story. Oh, okay, that's kind of cool. I don't know that I've seen that in a TV series. Like each season is a different theme, but it's all part of the same story. Reads, you can't explain. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I kind of got into practice doing it this way, like finding inspiration, and trying to figure out how it's broken down into simpler steps. With the work that I've done for Paint Night, or it used to be called Paint Night, now it's called Game Maker. You know, those wine and paint nights where you go to like the bar and paint a beach scene or a pretty landscape or something like that, and you're drinking with your friends and you're painting. I used to do that on the weekends and the evenings. And so all of those paintings on there are submitted by artists just like me, and we just create art and submit it. And then for our classes, we look through the catalog and pick one. It's like, oh, that would be good. I'm going to book that one, or I'm going to try this one. So we get the painting like this, and then we have to break it down and kind of figure out, okay, how do I teach that to 30 people who maybe aren't painters themselves or have never tried painting before?
Or sober.
Or sober. Occasionally, yeah. So I'm still tapping in some of that purple, blending that red and the blue together. And then I'm going to add some more purple throughout here on top of the blue, just to darken it a little bit. I don't want to lose all of my blue. Just adding some darker patches in there. And again, I'm just working on this side first while it's still wet, so that these colors can really blend and work well together.
Annie's our lone painter in Discord.
Just Connie today?
Just Connie.
Hi, Connie. I was watching Connie's stream the other day. She was playing a game that I had never seen before, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so intense. It was fun though, it looked cool. It reminded me a little bit of Overwatch. I can't remember what it's called.
I can't remember what I saw her play.
Jason says, I really enjoyed the flavor of the episodes that take place on Mars. Okay, so now I'm excited. I have to just create a list and watch them one by one. Just get into it. BH6, BH5, or B5, B6. Oh, Babylon 5. Okay. Let's see, I'm getting it. Terrence says, the best part of Deep Space Nine to me is every character is memorable, even those that are just in the background.
Yeah.
That's what I like about, I get that from Next Generation too. Like, when a character pops up for seemingly a single episode, they've created enough of like a character drive. I get excited when I see them again. Like when Lieutenant Troy's mom comes to visit, I get all excited. I'm like, yeah, what's she gonna do now? It's easily one of my favorite characters. And I like when is it Q? Yeah, I like when Q shows up because I know there's going to be some terrible shenanigans, and I love that. Tigeron says, I just realized this is the last Sunday, not daylight savings. The time change always throws me off. If it's like daylight savings or... yeah.
I never pay attention to it.
I don't either until it happens, and then I'm just like, why is everything all out of whack right now?
Do you like this time, or do you like the summer time better?
I do like the summertime.
I like it because I love that it's dark. It's not dark so early. It's like there's light all the way to like 8 p.m.
Yeah,
I hate it when we switch back.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me sad.
All right, so now I'm using my same brush. I'm going to add a little tap of black on there, and we're going to work in the corner of my painting here. Starting the corner here, and we're building out some black, creating some really nice dark tones right on top of the blue. You want your darkest points to be in this corner here, and then just kind of work it out. Blend that into the blue.
Oh, Connie said it was Heroes of the Storm, which is made by the same company as Overwatch.
Oh, well, there you go. Oh, they're both Blizzard.
Yeah, they're both Blizzard.
Okay. It looked really cool. Her character was awesome. She had this like amazing like Egyptian goddess character walking around. I was all about it. Looked great. But then I had to go because it was really intense and I had to get back to work. Connie, I hope your kitty's doing better. I know they weren't feeling well earlier. Okay. All right. Looking good. Nearly there. The cool thing about these galaxy paintings too is that you don't have to do it exactly the same way that I am. You can always add your own twist to it. You can do different colors. Totally up to you. Jason says, one of my favorite dynamics of B5 is the amazing dialogue between Ivanova and Marcus. Okay, I don't know who they are yet, but I'm excited. The relationship between Mollari and G'Kar. I love it. Okay, I'm so in it now. I can't wait. And then Reed comes in with Harry Potter. You can have an intimate evening with only one person from the Harry Potter film universe. Who do you choose, and why is it Richard Harris's Dumbledore? No. That's hilarious. Terrence, I'm with you on Torchwood. I really like it, and I like the people in it, but I just can't get into it. I'm more into Doctor Who. If I'm going to watch one of the two, I end up going more for Doctor Who each time. But it's good. I like the episodes that I watch, but it was never enough for me to like keep watching the next episode. Connie, I'm glad that Kitty's happy at home. And Reed's not Stan tonight. Just a wacky brain. So funny. All right, we're going to build up on this side now. Same way as before, we're going to take the blue paint. I'm going to use my large brush just to cover quickly. I have to think about that. Tigeron, I'm with you. I was thinking Alan Rickman, Professor Snape too. I don't know. There's just something about that, like... I'm picturing it and I'm trying to think of it without it being like ridiculously sexual, but
he did say intimate.
I know,
even.
But intimacy could also just be a really nice dinner for two.
That's what I'm saying.
But I don't think.
I don't know.
I don't think.
Yeah, I need a more explanation of what. Because it's gonna differ greatly who the choice is.
I don't think that's what he's asking for. I would say Snape, just because that deep voice was like, "Are you enjoying this evening?" That's my best Snape. Sorry, I can't think of anything else to say without it being crude and awful. Because I can think of other things that Snape would say. Another would be Oliver Wood, the captain of the Gryffindor team. I can't remember who the actor was, but I remember when I first saw that Harry Potter movie and that guy popped up on the screen, I was like, hello. Who is this? Teach me all about Quidditch, please. Oh, Tigeron just wants to learn potions. Sure you do. Alan Rickman was lovely. Yeah, I know, I miss him. Terrence says, I would spend it with Miss Granger for many reasons. One is for help with taxes. Hermione comes up every now and then in this, during our painting sessions. Lots of love for Hermione Granger. Oh no! Check that out.
Oh no!
Too much water on my brush. That's okay, because I'm just going to tap it.
Zoom into that so everybody can see. Oh, it's gone.
Yeah, can you?
Look at that.
What? If you work fast, you can fake it. We could put the Enterprise right on top of it too. I just had too much water on my brush. There we go. I know everyone says this now too, but Neville Longbottom ended up super cute. So that would be a hard one to say no to.
Yeah, but if you're gonna take him, you gotta take him at his worst and at his best.
No.
No.
This isn't Instagram. I get to choose.
It's a fantasy.
I don't want creepy 10-year-old Neville. That's awful. The rule is just don't say Hermione because that's too easy. Like as an answer, I guess. I mean, I wouldn't mind spending time with Hermione Granger. That would be super fun. I don't know if it would be an intimate evening. I wouldn't have much to offer, but I would have a nice time. My favorite scene of Professor Snape would be when he pushes Harry and Ron's heads into the books in study hall. I can't pick a favorite. There's like every scene with him is just so good. Reed says, for the record, staying with men, can we not forget Jarvis Cocker is a Harry Potter actor. Wait, who's Jarvis Cocker?
I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is either. Could always go with Luna Lovegood, so you can draw her creatures.
No, I just hang out with Tonks.
Tonks is pretty cool. I do like Tonks. Luna's cool because she's weird. Like, you know, she'd be all weird. No mistakes, just happy accidents. I'm trying to skip over because I was like, I don't know where that's going.
That almost went to like real weird territory.
It did. So I decided to pump the brakes on that one. Moving on. Jason wants his own full officers. Excuse me, full officer. Philosopher's Stone, Elder Wand, and Cloak of Invisibility. I would not mind having a Cloak of Invisibility. I would make a lot of use of that. Sneaking into rooms and stuff. That would be fun. Jarvis Cocker from Pulp, lead singer of the Weird Sisters. I don't know who that is.
Is the Weird Sisters the band that plays at prom?
I thought the Weird Sisters. The Weird Sisters are those girls from Sabrina. Those 3 girls. So I'm using the purple now, like I did previously, and just blending the blue and the red together. Jason says, as a geeky futurist, I would love to regularly spend time with Hermione and the Sorting Hat. Ah, okay. Terrence said that did seem weird reading it back. Oh, the Luna Lovegood. Yeah. I mean, if that's where you're going with it, that's totally fine.
It wouldn't be a lie.
No, everyone's got their own thing. Kink is kink, and that's great. You got it. But yes, she's a little spooky.
Just Connie.
Smart is sexy. Hi, Connie.
It's gonna take a second because it's delayed. She'll
That's
wave.
right.
And now. See?
It's so funny. Oh, Art, you were right. The Weird Sisters play in the Yule Ball in the 4th movie.
Yeah, I thought that was them.
Pavarti and Padma. Oh yeah, they're cute. I like them. Those are good characters. I'm taking the purple and tapping that throughout the blue to darken it just a touch. Again, not losing all of the blue tone, but just darkening it slightly. Luna is interesting. I do like Luna a lot. I love her character. I think she's super fun. She comes in, like, as far as story goes, she comes in at a perfect time in the Harry Potter, like, timeline, because it starts to get so dark so quick right about when she pops up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice to have that little burst of levity every now and then. Yeah, I do like it.
No.
Terrence says it was purely meaning personality-wise. No, I get it. I know where you're at. I understand. You like it weird. That's fine. All right, so now I'm going to take some black, just like I did before. And on this top right corner, bring some of the black toward the center. I can't remember when we did our Bill and Ted Galaxy painting. I don't think we started with a black background. I can't remember.
I think we did.
Built it up like that too.
I think we did.
Did we do black?
We did black.
We just let it dry for a bit?
Yeah, and then we built on top of it. I'm actually keeping up today.
Okay, good. Jason says, Terrence, I went with both meanings. One could lead to the other. Uh-oh. Sadly, I always thought that Luna's Nargles were actually the bullies in Ravenclaw. Yeah. I never thought of that. Poor Luna. And Jason would totally date sentient beings made out of non-living matter. Okay. That is your thing. That is fine. And then Terrence says, you know, Neville and Luna do not end up married to each other. You know, I other than like a handful of the like main Harry Potter characters, I don't know who ends up with who. Really, I know Harry and Ginny, and then Hermione and Ron. Right? That's it. That's all I know. All right, so we've got our background, and now what we're going to do a little bit of a splatter paint to create some starry texture. And we're going to do this twice. We'll do one with some black, just a little touch of black on there. Neville and Hannah got, oh yeah, that sounds familiar. Neville and Hannah, I think they get married. So I'm going to take a little tap of black on my palette, and I'm going to mix that with some water. So what we're looking for is a nice kind of milky consistency of black. Not too wet, because you don't want it to start dripping, but you do want a nice watery consistency up there. And then I'll show you how I hold my brush as I do this. I'm using my middle-sized brush for this, but I'm going to show you using my large brush as far as technique. So after I get the paint on my brush, I'm going to hold it upright like this, and then with my finger, pull back and just kind of flick the paint. Flick the paint right onto the brush, or onto the canvas rather. You do it like that, or you can also tap. So if you hold the paintbrush up again with two fingers, tap it all along the canvas. Either way works fine. I actually prefer the tapping motion because you can move it around a little bit easier and kind of control where the spots are going as you're flicking. Luna eventually married Rolf Scamander, the grandson of Newt Scamander. Oh, I did know that. Okay. A famed magizoologist with whom she had twin sons, Lorcan and Lysander. Wow. Coming out with the trivia, Jason. I like it. Luna's good friends Harry and Ginny Potter also named their daughter and third child Lily Luna Potter in honor of her. Aww. Draco Marty's a fellow Slytherin who also hates the way her family's belief on muggles. Oh, Draco marries a fellow Slytherin. I still haven't finished The Cursed Child.
Yeah.
And I didn't see it on stage either, unfortunately.
It's so cool.
I do want to see it someday.
Yeah, because the book, from what I gather, the book is not the physical, the play, and it
wasn't capturing me as I was reading it.
No, the show is much better.
Okay,
it's
good,
beautiful.
All right, so I've got my watery black, and I'm just gonna tap in a little bit of black in there, just to create a bit of a star field behind this yellow, so it's not so solid. I think I might do another pass of that. And then Art, if you want to close in on this, just so we can see as it's popping in there. Yeah, perfect. So we've got some black on there, and then we're going to do the same thing, but with white. So I'm going to clean off my brush, get all the black paint out of there. And then I'm going to take a little tap of white paint and create that same kind of watery. Oh, Connie, we're sprinkling black first. Sprinkled a little touch of black on there first, just to kind of break up this yellow field so it's not so solid yellow. And then I'm going to go on it again, doing the same thing with some white paint. Astoria Greengrass. That is a weird name for a Slytherin. I would expect like Astorymica Green Slimicus Grusticus. Like, I feel like there are far more consonants in Slytherin names. And Jason says that particular wall of text was straight research, copy and paste rather than my own enthusiastic, long-winded Hermione-like banter. I just appreciate you posting it. Thank you. Now we don't have to look it up, right? Okay. Oh, Jason Slytherin. Tyjon, yeah, now we're doing white. So same technique. I've got white on my brush. And I'm going to use quite a bit more white because it's going to be covering all of the canvas. Now we're creating all those stars. The real mystery is, who does the surviving twin marry? Who's surviving twin?
The twins.
Oh, the Weasleys. Got it. It's sad, but I imagine that he may not marry anyone because he had such a strong connection with his brother that he never really kind of got over that. Is that just too dramatic? I mean, when I watched the movie, even though I've read the book so many times, when I watched the movie, I was devastated. Like, I knew it was coming, and it still was just, I was still not okay.
Somebody spoiled that. I'd never read the books when I saw the movie, and somebody spoiled it for me literally like 30 minutes before it happened.
Oh no!
Yeah,
that's rude.
Just leaned over and told me what happened.
As the movie's going?
Yeah.
They couldn't have just waited?
Needless to say, that relationship didn't last.
I would have made them walk home. That is screwed up. I mean, I don't like things being spoiled for me, and I'm pretty. If it happens, it happens. I'm not like pissed off usually, but I mean, why? Like minutes before it was supposed to happen.
Yep.
That's so weird. Jason says, I love having two displays, slightly saner multitasking. I have to have two displays.
Oh yeah.
On my computer screen. I do it just for space because I'm often I'm in Photoshop on one screen and Illustrator on the other screen, and I'm going in between the two of them constantly on the same files. So, or I've got InDesign up there, or I'm pulling data from the internet as I'm trying to copy and paste stuff into the, I'm constantly on double displays. I feel very naked if I've only got one display. I feel like I'm not as productive for some reason. And it wasn't always the case. But as soon as I got a second one.
Can I show you my setup?
Yeah. George and Angelina. The couple goes on to have 2 children, Fred Weasley II and Roxanne Weasley. Aww. I love that. So yeah, now I've got my stars all over the place. Again, we started with a little bit of a black in here just to break up some of the yellow. And then we added white all over to get this really fun starry landscape. Or starscape, rather. Are you going to bring it up on your phone? You just take a picture of it?
There's you. There's the stream.
Oh.
There's the laptop. There's the preview so I can look at the camera. There's the Discord, and then here's the iPad. So
that's amazing.
1, 2, 3, 4. I guess I'll take this. all at once.
You know, I've never seen it. That's awesome. How, I don't understand, like, I can't get my internet to work here hardly ever. I don't know how you guys manage to get anything working there with all those screens and all those multiple feeds and everything.
Because we have a business, it's a business line. So you pay extra for like business quality internet. And it's consistent. And it's, I don't think we ever had an issue.
Yeah, that makes sense. I hardwired today because we were having such issues yesterday. Yeah. So I've since we started, I've moved the router upstairs, got it connected. I've got a hard wire going straight to my computer, so we should be
You've been perfect the whole time. I think it was just
okay, good. Thank you, Art. All right, so now we're going to paint the Enterprise. Oh, wait, what?
I am on my painting.
Nice. I love it.
Okay, let's paint the Enterprise.
Yes, so now we're on the Enterprise. I'm going to take my middle-sized brush with some white paint just to kind of sketch it out first. I don't want to go too heavy with black just yet. It's going to live here, I would say, just south of center. So in this area here, kind of floating off this way. And it's at an angle. It's floating through this yellow field. Just start off with simple shapes and build it up little by little. So I'm going to start with the round disc, the iconic disc of the ship. And I'm just going to sketch that out and just kind of fill it in a little bit at first. There we go. It's pretty good. When you're doing things like this too, you always want to start small so that if you want to make adjustments, you can add paint to it to make it a little bit larger and kind of build it out as you go. If you start really big right off the bat, it's much more difficult to take the paint away than it is to add paint if you need it. Okay, mine looks like a hot dog, so I'm going to slurry it out a little bit. Oh, you know what? I have a good question for the chat. So maybe someone can help to explain a little bit of the construction of the Enterprise. Because my husband Jared and I, whenever we watch it, we always kind of like, we're confused. We don't really know what's where, what we're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
So when everyone's up in the main section of the ship.
The bridge?
Yeah, the bridge. Where is that on the ship?
That's the very top center of the saucer. Like the very
so like here?
No, the
top
saucer.
Center?
The top center of the saucer, yeah. Of the saucer section's the very top.
Okay. And then when they're in the like control panel area with Geordi, I assume that's like further away somewhere in the ship, right?
Yeah, at the bottom of the ship, like in the belly of the ship, basically.
But most of the stuff, like when they're talking to all the aliens and stuff, it's all happening.
It's all
on the bridge. Okay.
Yeah, that ship.
That's where I think, but I never really know.
Ship is gigantic. The Enterprise D, the one from Generations. It's.
I don't think about it, and then when they talk about like having thousands of people on board, then I'm like, oh wait, this has got to be a really big ship.
Later in the series, there'll be shots of like Picard looking at his window, and then they'll pull out, and you'll see the scale of the window and see the ship. You'll get to see a little more scale sections. Yeah.
Okay, I was wondering about that. So they're all in here somewhere. Okay, so this is the main disc. Underneath that, I'm going to do another kind of ovally disc shape, but it's got a flat bottom right about here. And again, we're not going super detailed on this because it's just going to be a silhouette against this star field. But if you want to, feel free. And then we've got this other panel here. It's a longer piece. Still kind of cylindrical in shape, especially up here toward the front. It's got that rounded edge. But it does flatten out. Toward the base here. Now the reason I'm sketching it out in white first is because white is also easier to cover up. If I were to do it in black first and then make a mistake, it'd be much more difficult to cover up the black if you need to. I'm loving all this Harry Potter trivia on our Star Trek day. It's so good. I love this show. I don't know, we're just like, what are we going to talk about today? Neville takes over for Professor Sprout naturally. I love that. It's so cool. Jason is a huge fan of Spy Kids. I've never seen it, but Lieutenant Villain Fagin Flop and his Flops Fugalies TV show. A huge fan of the Minions movies. I don't think I've seen the Minions movies. I've seen the Despicable Me movies, but I haven't seen the standalone Minion movies. Between that Fall Guys game and over-the-top mad science of Rick and Morty, yes, I have some additional juicy influences for my own content evolution. I love it, Jason. I actually haven't played Fall Guys yet, but it looks really cute, and it's coming to the Switch, so I'm excited about that.
Oh yeah. Wait, which ship?
You're essentially just. What's that?
Which ship are we drawing?
This is the Enterprise, isn't it? Or am I totally confused?
Yeah, but there's different Enterprises. This looks like the A. This looks like the original series, the Enterprise.
Yeah, help me out, game. I have no idea. I've only seen one. Okay, so now we're going to connect these pieces. I'm going to start first with the large disc up front. Along the bottom edge, I'm going to create a shape similar to this one here, just coming out from that bottom edge here. And it's going to go right about here, kind of lining up to this guy. I love that you can tell kind of what ship it is just by looking at it.
They have pretty distinct silhouettes.
They do? Okay. I don't know that yet. Spoiler alert. I'm just kidding. Okay, so our first connection is going to be in between these three pieces here, these 3 fins, and it's going to be a diagonal line that just cuts across between the 3 of them. Okay. And then our second connection will be right up here, connecting the main disc to the second fin right here. I'm actually going to go from the bottom, or actually the top of this bottom fin, and just kind of swoop up into it, give it a little bit of a curve. And then on the other side of it, just build up that curve a little bit more. Just filling that in. Oops. There we go. Terrence says, if you could use one spell in real life, what would it be? Like Harry Potter specific spell, right? I don't know that I would use a spell necessarily, but I would really like to be able to use Floo powder, because I don't like the time it takes to travel to some places. Like the trip to Japan, like 16 hours in that plane was mind-numbing, but at the same time, I played my Switch the whole time, so it was okay, relatively. But it would be nice to be able to just use the Floo powder and be able to travel to Japan, or use a what was it? A Keystone?
No. Portal.
What did they use for the Triwizard Tournament? Portkey. Yes, thank you. Yeah, I'd like to be able to use Portkey or Floo powder. Either one of those, but I don't know about spells.
I want one of those giant tents that looks like like a TARDIS tent.
Cool. Yeah, that would be really cool. I would like that. I mean, it would be nice to be able to summon my Patronus whenever I wanted to, but I don't know what I would use it for. It would just be kind of a cool party trick.
For Dementors, duh.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I have to think about it. Okay, so I'm going to use the black now, and I'm going over the white and just kind of blending the black into it. So it's creating more of a silvery gray tone rather than a pure black. If there's areas where your black is already dried or your white has dried, that's okay. Just going over it. You'll have different tones on there. Some darker, some light. And if you're creating any further details on there too, you can use that to your advantage. Pop up some of those highlights and shadows. Titron says, while the bridge seems immense, the set had the same 38-foot width as the original series bridge and was 2 feet longer.
Oh wow!
For Next Generation.
Yeah, it looks way bigger than the original series. Oh, by the way, when you watch any of the other Star Trek series, you're gonna notice. Are you watching it on Netflix? Is that where you're watching it right now?
Yes.
You're gonna notice a severe difference in quality.
Oh.
Because Next Generation was the only one that was filmed. It's actually filmed with 35mm film, so they were able to do a HD restoration of it.
Oh, interesting.
So it's really pretty. If you look at some YouTube videos of what it looked like before Duel looks now, it's really pretty. But the Deep Space Nine and Voyager were shot on video, so they can't do like a HD restoration on that. So
that's too bad.
Yeah.
Huh.
Because they basically just scanned the film and then recomposited the special effects onto it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a huge deal. I didn't. They started
That's
doing
intense.
it, and I didn't think they were gonna finish, but they did all 7 seasons. It was great.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Tegron says to save money in the first season, the observation lounge's windows were covered with carpet to become sickbay. The new lounge set was created for the second season. Oh,
interesting. What did they do recently that I was like surprised? Oh, when HBO just recently released all the Sex and the City, like redone.
They did?
Yeah, they remastered the whole thing, and at first I was like, sure, whatever. Like, so the shoes look better. It's one of Jared's favorite shows. Actually, I like it too. I enjoyed it. But we put it on and we're like, dang, it's like a brand new show. It's so crazy how good the quality is, because we've been watching the DVDs forever. And then you look at it now and it's just beautiful. And they somehow changed it so that it's widescreen.
What did they?
So I think the first few seasons were just regular ratio. Alrighty. Jason says I would use some type and level of transformation spell in the Ascension or Next Best Thing count. Yeah, transformation would be good. I feel like I could use that to my advantage. That's the only thing I could think of. I can't imagine, like, most of the spells that I remember from Harry Potter were very defensive spells. Other than, like, Leviosa. I think I would just rather than using the spells, I would rather have access to, like, the tools of the trade as a wizard. To be able to use stuff like the port key and the flute powder. So yeah, ta-da! That's our Enterprise painting. And you can see there's some little areas of white that I didn't paint over with black. I'm going to paint over that with yellow once it's dried, and just kind of fill in those spaces around it. But again, I use that white as a sketch first, just to kind of get the base of it, and then put the black right on top of it. Yeah, it's a cool one. I love a galaxy painting. It's fun, and it's chill and relaxing.
Yeah. And then you just spend as much time as you want getting the details into your ship.
Exactly. So Art, how's everything going with the partner push? How are we doing?
It's going good. Numbers are good. We just have to convince Twitch that we deserve it. Because even if we hit the numbers, they can still say nah. Then getting the numbers, getting all the checklist just that just means they'll look at you. They still have to decide if they. So we've done everything we have to do. We just have to. It's literally on their court.
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed.
Yeah. So if you guys could, I'm sure you guys already know, but we would love for you guys to be there Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday nights for our partner push that we're doing this month and April, all of February and all of March, to see if we can finally get that partnership. It's just going to open up a little few doors for us, give us legitimacy, help us find sponsors. We have some great sponsors already, but it'll open up some doors. And we're done with that. We can move on and just move on with the rest of our streaming life. It'll be great.
Yeah.
But yeah. So tomorrow, Saladin's Legacy at 7:30, and then Wednesday night. No, Saladin's Legacy is at 7 now. It's half hour early. Perception Check is at 7:30 on Wednesday, and Treasure Piece is at 7:30 on Friday. Make sure you guys come hang out. It's really fun.
Awesome. I love it. Even when I can't watch it, I just put it on and I have it in the background.
Yeah, I sort of do it with Silence Legacy too. Unless I'm here, I watch it in the background.
Tadron said that they dropped the Wikipedia link in Cinephilia Discord channel for the facts about the Next Generation Enterprise.
Oh, cool.
So I'm gonna have to check that out so that I can better understand. Read.
Oh, cool.
Comes down to Twitch powers to actually think it's worth their time to have you as partners. I think they should. I don't see why not. You guys have been around forever. Oh, it's well deserved.
I lost my Zoom thing. Hold on. Oh, it went
away. Zoom?
Yeah, I was gonna show. Connie was showing her thing. I'm gonna go back again, I guess. Because it went away.
Well, as you finish the painting, gang, take a picture, share it on our Perception Paints so we can all take a look. I love seeing everyone's work on there. And again, if you've got your own artwork that you're working on, share it and show it. I'd love to take a look. It's kind of fun to see what everyone's up to and what they get into. Well, there's Connie's. Yay! It's so pretty. I love it. Nice work, Connie, as always. Yay. I love seeing all of Connie's paintings in the background, too. So yeah, next week, I'm trying to think of what we're painting next week. Are we doing Jurassic Park?
I think it's. I can check.
I suppose I could too. I don't know.
Robert. Schedule. There it is.
I think it's Jurassic Park.
It's not.
Oh, what are we doing?
Superman.
Oh, I like that one. We're doing a Metropolis painting.
Metropolis painting, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, well, guys, I hope I get to see you next week. Otherwise, have a great rest of your week. And Art, thanks again. As always, wonderful to see you.
Good to see you.
We'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, have a good night. Bye. I wasn't ready.
Bye, gang.
Hold on.
Bye.
Okay, bye. No, I'm ready. Nope, didn't click. Okay, but now I'm bye. Bye.
Bye.